Facepalm America. I'm Beowulf Racklin. Facepalmamerica.com is where you can go to find out more about the show. Welcome. It's a cold, chilly day, at least where I am. I know that the temperatures are getting warmer, and that is something that we need to pay attention to. And I know that for much of this winter, so far, we have seen increasing temperatures such that in December, people in Minnesota end up jogging in T-shirts. That is possible. That is or should be a very rare thing. It is becoming increasingly common. But there was snow where I am in Oregon today, and I just love to see that. My dog was out playing in it. Fred was covered with snow when he came back inside. It was nice to see. Nice to see flakes in the air. Maybe if we change things in terms of the way we produce energy, it's possible that future generations will get to see that too. That'd be nice. I want to just quickly today bring attention to the fact that Republicans did something good, or are trying to do something good. And I don't say that very often, because I think by and large, the Republican Party is in the hands of Donald Trump. It is an increasingly corporate right-wing tool, and by and large, it doesn't do very many good things. Some of those things could be said of the Democratic Party as well. But I don't want it to be a party thing. I want it to be an American thing. This is Facepalm America. And when we've done something stupid, we should agree on that. And when we do something right, we should agree on that too. And this is kind of a small step, but I think it's important. And I think it's important to acknowledge. This comes out of Missouri. The Missouri Independent. You can see the full story at MissouriIndependent.com. A group of Republican lawmakers is raising concerns about the Missouri death penalty. Let me read this to you. A group of Republican lawmakers raised concerns about the death penalty and advocated for legislation that would abolish it in Missouri during a Tuesday press conference at the state capitol, characterizing it as an issue of restraining government overreach and protecting life. Chad Perkins, a Republican from Bowling Green, has filed legislation to abolish the death penalty and sentence on those on death row instead to life in prison without parole. Imagine a country where we didn't kill people who we had in prison. Imagine that imprisonment, or maybe even something else, was punishment enough, and that we didn't have to kill people really for no good reason other than to exact revenge. Why do we need to kill people who are already in jail, who are going to be in jail for the rest of their lives? We don't need to. And I think these Republicans are completely correct. And I think this is a critical moral issue. Now, they characterize it here as being a pro-life issue. And I know that that is also used as an excuse to deprive women of reproductive freedom. And that is reprehensible. But life, once it's actually out in the world, once it's actually out of the womb, that's something that we should take care of. We should take care of people who are actually born and alive. All right? We shouldn't kill them. We should avoid killing and harming people wherever we can. And this time, these Republicans are right. Here's what Representative Chad Perkins had to say. I think morally, I feel obligated, Perkins said. Anyone who says they're pro-life should feel a little conflicted on this topic. Because if you're pro-life, then I think you've got to look at it and say you're that way from the beginning to the very end. And I don't think the government should have a monopoly on violence. I don't think the government, this is me, should have anything to do with violence, as much as they can possibly avoid it. But he's right. If you're pro-life, and who isn't pro-life? Everybody's pro-life. It's just a matter of whether you want to restrict women from being able to have reproductive health care. But certainly if you say that, how could you possibly be in favor of the death penalty? Joining Perkins at Tuesday's Capitol rally were Republican Representatives Tony Lavasco of O'Fallon, Jim Murphy of St. Louis, and Travis Smith of Douglas. Missouri was one of only 5 states to carry out death sentences last year, along with Texas, Florida, Oklahoma, and Alabama. Red states. Missouri executed 4 people in 2023 and 2 in 2022. Between 1979 and 2021, the state executed 216 people. 216 people murdered by the state. Endorsed murder by a state government. 4 people on death row in the state have been exonerated in Missouri since 1989. So how many of those were innocent? How many of those 216 plus were innocent men and women? Lavasco, who filed the bill in previous years seeking to abolish the death penalty in Missouri, said he's seen increased momentum on the issue from his fellow Republicans. We're seeing, finally, willingness to have a discussion about this within the Republican Party, he said, both behind the scenes and now finally in public. Last year, after Lavasco introduced an amendment during the budget process to defund the death penalty, he said almost double the number of people in the Republican Party voted in favor of defunding the death penalty than when it had happened previously, when roll call votes had been done in the past by Democrats. Another bill, filed by Republican State Senator Mary Elizabeth Coleman of Arnold, would limit but not abolish the death penalty. Her legislation would repeal a state law allowing a judge to decide on a death sentence when a jury is not in unanimous agreement. Most of the states with active death penalty laws require unanimous jury decision. In only Indiana and Missouri, a judge is allowed to impose a death sentence when a jury decision can't be reached on sentencing. Well, that's wrong. It would be an even smaller step to eliminate that. That would be a good thing, too. But I just want to point out that, Republicans can have consciences, too. We all have them, pretty much. It's just the degree to which we choose to repress them. So let's encourage them. Let's say, good on you. This is a step in the right direction. Let's give some praise. Because God knows there's little enough opportunity to do so. Thank you for listening today. This is just a short one. I just wanted to put that across. I want to thank Ace Elson and Rosabelle Hine for being the producers of this program. As always, you can go to facepalmamerica.com for more information, to listen to past episodes, to connect with us on social media. Please rate and review this podcast. It helps us grow our base. And until next time, enjoy the day.